right, we are rolling. So basically, after you go through it all, I didn't mute it because I was just jamming out. But I like to go through it all. If you want to break it apart, that's kind of more up to you. But the main thing I like to do is just kind of get all these little brackets of clips all in Final Cut. It's called favored. It's just hitting F after you put a little range on it. Other than that, that brings them down to where you can just do this and you're like, oh, perfect. Here's everything I could possibly use. What I want to do in addition to making these videos is, very B-roll type online shutter clips that could be potential for other people to use. I would love to, sell this clip online. Get the parasail in the back. I don't know if it would meet their standards. I'd hope so. But I think if we can do stuff like that, that'll help me just start getting a little bit of a drip of a residual income. And at that point, if you can help me build this up, I think we can figure out something where as that gets larger, we can just start bumping your pay up more because I'll be able to afford more, because now it's not just the client paying, but it's also going to be online income coming in. So that was just the one little thing I wanted to say on audio. But other than that, I'm going to get on to it. I'll try to talk it through, but I normally don't know what I'm doing until I throw it all in there and kind of mix and match. The biggest thing for me is the music. So most of the time I don't favor the music, so it's going to be in here somewhere. Boom. So, honestly, I'd probably just throw in, I hate putting the music in first. If you put the music in first, I'm sure it'll change the timeline and everything to sometimes that specs, with the specs for the very first clip. So just check on that if you do that. Other than that, I'm going to go to favorites, and I'm just going to start throwing some stuff in here just to see. With videos like this, we're normally, 2 minutes is kind of a lot. Sometimes, so as far as music goes, we'll probably aim for like a 1 to 145. I would say no. I always want to give them at least a minute and a little extra. So maybe a minute plus, a couple seconds of their logo and stuff at the end. But, I think 2 minutes is too much. So that 1 to 2 minute sweet spot, however the music lies, would be great. So a lot of times what I do is the intro of a song is always very, subtle, title heavy as far as things to do to introduce the video. But most of the time, the end of the song is what I like because it has a better resolve. It has one last big hit before it fades out. So in this case, it kind of just mellows out and there's not like a sting. All right, so that kind of sounds the same as this. All right, cool. So honestly, it's kind of the same in this situation, so I'll probably just not even worry about cutting the two songs together. But for instance, if I did like the intro, but I really liked verse 2, 3, and end, then I can come over here and just, line it up to the best of your ability, get in there pretty nitty gritty, and boom, there it is. And that way, if you really wanted to, you could mute this top guy, and now you have an intro, and it'll go into. Okay, so that was a little sketch on that. So let's see if we got to pull it back a little. Okay, that's just because it has this little intro to it. So what we're really going to do is we're going to allow these guys to play out because that's kind of its own unique thing. These guys are doing it, but if you can see from this little waveform compared to this guy, it's a different fill. If you're a drummer, transition to the next, part of the song. If you don't know music that well, so that makes it happen. So what I'll even do too sometimes is I'll just allow this you know, this is the first hit. This is the downbeat. This is like the beginning of it. I'll put the header here just to see, make sure everything's there. But I'll allow this guy to fade out a little because they're both the same exact hit. So, you know, it's okay to let it hit and it'll be just extra. Cool. So that would be for an instance where the song's too long. I like the intro, but I like the ending of it. That's a way to make it happen. Honestly, let's see. They both end the same, so in this case, I'd rather just keep it clean and go with that. Okay, so, you know, as your timeline here, I never really learned Final Cut the right way, so sometimes I'll start building things up. And what I mean by that is I'll start throwing things up here, trying to figure out what's best. And then as I do finalize it, I will make those cuts and put them into the timeline as like my final thing. And that way, I don't know, the stems and everything are cool and all, and you can always change where the stems are if you do a shortcut with the playhead on there. But I just like mixing and matching up here above the timeline, and then this timeline kind of then becomes this visual representation of what I feel is like already locked in. So do what you need to do, but that's just kind of what I teach people. And when people work with me at the house here, I got a couple computers and they'll come over. That's kind of how I explain it, but I think everyone figures out their own visual way of kind of, I guess, building out the timeline. So, all right, that's enough of that. I'm going to shut up and I'm just going to speed all this up and you get to see how I lay it in here and hopefully it makes sense. Let me know if it doesn't. All right, so I like the beat. All right, and so when I'm shooting, you know, sometimes I'll offshoot and like how this guy isn't centered. Most of the time it's not on purpose. I try to keep it centered, but because things like this happen, we actually have all this space over here for text. So this actually becomes a very good kind of introduction clip, title, all that good jazz. Okay, so I'll show her up a 10. And so this one I'm not going to, but a lot of the times on the boat videos, you'll see us have some kind of like intro speed ramp sting. Sting, I guess I use Sting as, you know, a big music hit, a big visual edit that you create, whether it's a transition, a speed ramp, anything in particular, in camera stuff. But I really like to try to get some kind of visual cue before we get into the main timeline for sales videos, whether it's real estate or houses, boats, stuff like that. That's just kind of us, you know, now going through and walking through the whole thing. So a lot of times, you know, you get this intro, title, text, and then we're gonna have some kind of visualization to, you know, shoot us into now the walkthrough, I'm air quoting, walkthrough of whatever someone's selling. All right, so for instance, something like this guy, this long ass clip that I got in slow motion will probably be what we do. So okay, so there's the hint. So, and I like to start wherever the crescendo, whatever they use in the music to build into the hit. So in this case, it kind of sounds like this airy swoosh. So we're going to be using that as our visual cue to really hit the speed ramp. You might know all this, and if so, just skip on through. But I'm gonna just, you know, lay it all out here, and this is actually kind of helping me think through what I do. But a lot of times I just kind of go off music. Okay, that's a little too much. I think it's too long in this case. Let me see if you get up into these thousands and it's just easier to type them in because they just start getting to. All right, yeah, so that's gonna be the problem. I'm gonna have a second clip in here. Still gonna need to get. It's just such a long clip because the drone, when I'm shooting, so this is all in. What it says is it'll be okay over here. When I'm shooting HD on the drone, it will always be the 120 frames per second. That's the only reason I would ever shoot 1080 on the drone. But it actually kind of looks as if it's 30p, but you know, as you see, it's 30p, but inside the codecs of the clip, it's shooting 120. So that's for that. I'll normally shoot 4K, and you know, it's right at 4K at 30. I try never to shoot 24 just because I always want to have that bit of wiggle room to slow it down if we have to. And I might shoot 2K at 60 from time to time, but you know, you'll mostly see 4K 30, 2K 60, HD 120 throughout these clips. Okay, so we got this intro guy. So what we're going to do to help with that crescendo I was talking about is just by moving this guy, you'll see how it pushes. So it's just like a transition, as if you Command T, stretch him out here. Same kind of deal with these guys. So sometimes if I'm trying to get that close, if we want to like extend it, give it a little bit more of an elasticity feel. Okay, so yeah, don't like that shot. All right, so where to go? I don't know. That's kind of where I'm going to skip a lot of this. All right, I kind of like this guy just because it's clean. And we got some other big boats behind him. He's not the only vessel here. Cool. Zoom. Yeah. But, okay. So, man, we're going to have to find something here. I think we'll probably use one of these guys or one of these kind of clips because I don't want to go drone like that. But I don't want to show the inside of the house yet. Once we get in, so it's called a salon. I don't know why it's called a salon, but inside a big ass boat like this is called a salon. If you want to really impress a boat salesman, boat broker, refer to the inside of the boat as a salon. Yeah, something like this will be what we're gonna use. Also, what I didn't get, which I normally do, on the side of the boats, it'll have the make, the person who made it. So in this case, this is a Viking boat, or there's Bertram, there's Hatteris's, stuff like that. I think, yeah, you'll see it here just a tad. I'll normally get a super up close shot of that, so my bad. But that's always a good little push-in shot to go to somewhere else. Okay. Yeah. There was some dolphins. So the fishermen hate the dolphins because they're smart enough to hang around the fishing boats, and if you guys go out and you're now fishing, you get a fish on the line, they will just eat it right off the line and no fish for you. So while in the video it probably looks awesome that there is dolphins, and by all means use them, for an actual fisherman, they fucking hate dolphins. Yeah, I'm gonna use this clip just because it's got better color. It's kind of got more of a pop. Like I really tried to make, like, they're only gonna watch the first 10 seconds of a video. Like really just, since this is kind of a very stagnant clip, it's all moving and all that, but we'll put the text and everything right here in this little square of what it is, the basic information, whatnot. So hopefully that will cause a little bit of eye attention. And then from there, we're just gonna do this quick little clip, kind of unique perspective clip, and then we're gonna go into some kind of wowie clip as far as an effect. All right, it's still kind of, I don't know, it's just not there. I don't see what it is, but I'm gonna keep moving forward and then come back to it. So we're gonna do that, bring him in, and we're gonna get rid of this guy. If you know a better way, let me know, but guess what? That's how I do it. Okay, and sure hit up right there, so we want to hit it right there on this guy, so zoop. Okay, so we're kind of getting now into the boat. So we just did our little introduction here, yay. So a lot of the times with these boat videos, there's the drone's awesome and it's really fun to be flying all this, but at the end of the day, there's only so many clips I can really get. So I try to get as many different clips as possible, but it starts feeling like the same thing very quickly. So, you know, don't overuse the same shots even if they look the same. So I'm just trying to see, like, because we just did this like swoosh around. So now I want to show maybe 2-3 like features of some sort, and then from there go into the salon. So for something like this, let's kind of, you know, again, different perspective shot. Ideally, I would love to get a little bit higher. And then, you know, feel free on this 4K footage to punch in to showcase something, to really make it framed up, make me look like a better drone pilot. And then another thing, I'm just like a super like shake freak. Like I really don't like seeing little wobbles. So like that little intro there, you see that up and down, up, down. And then that hit to the side, it pushes left, it jars left a little bit, left. So that'll work, but you know, anything like that, just, you know, I don't know how strong your computer is, but I stabilize probably 30, 40, 50% of my clips, and we'll even toy with it a little bit. I don't really recommend toying with the stabilization too much while you're trying to do your timeline. It's just kind of going left brain, right brain, but just wanted to throw that out there as we're knocking all that out. So this doesn't look that impressive. If you don't know fishing at all, I didn't until I started doing a bunch of these videos, and then I started just picking up stuff. This is called backing down. They're actually going in reverse, so they're backing up, but they call it backing down. And the whole technique of it is, you know, you're out there and a big fish is on the hook. You are fighting some kind of sailfish, something pretty freaking big, and it's going to take you a couple hours to get in. Well, if you really start pulling and pushing, that line's going to break regardless, 100-pound, 200-pound test. So what the captain will do to help let the fish get tired without breaking the line is it'll actually back in reverse and try to kind of keep up with the fish a little bit. So it's called backing down. On these big boys that are fisherman boats, we'll show a clip of that just to kind of have that. It's just kind of a useful thing. Based on the boat and the build of everything, how fast can you go backwards before you start flooding the back deck here? It's kind of the ratio they're looking for. So for something like this, we're just showing that it's going in reverse. It's not a wowie clip, but for the fishermen, that's something they want to see and do. I'll probably show that more in the back end because it's not that desirable, but I will probably... I'm going to pick one of these guys because it just kind of really shows off the whole boat in one. Alright, so that's too much slow motion back to back. Yeah, we're going to use that clip there. Okay, so not that settings matter a lot in these kind of videos, but I wouldn't want to really see us go from like us leaving that location and now we're out here in the deeper kind of open water, and then to see it come back like that kind of just throws me off. But if we go through the salon of everything and now we're on the back end and we got like that 20 seconds of just, you know, it all kind of come into a closer, I would have no problem seeing it then, even though it's going out. Once we get out of the salon, everything kind of becomes fair game again as far as what settings and whatnot on this back end montage kind of collection. I'm actually going to go back and I like this guy better. All right, so I'm a big fan of this like foreground transition. I don't know, it's been used a lot now, but I've been using it for years. I think it just gives a cool in-camera transition, and sometimes people are like, whoa, what just happened? so we already have this shot showing the side, so this one kind of becomes redundant, but it's a really good shot. So I'm gonna go wow shot, kind of the captain's chair, the upper deck if you were up there on the tower, and then this overall, I can kind of see it all now in action from the deck to everything, from bottom to top. So just kind of keep that in mind too. Like I am looking for the best shots and kind of the most creative, but at the same time, you're also trying to be very logical with how we're presenting this vessel to the viewer. So I'm actually gonna knock in forward a tad. So if we do something like this, and then we pop it in. Because okay, so also I'm gonna show you where it's not. So my 4K, I shoot with a 5D Mark IV, and that makes it even worse. And when I do that, and I'm shooting in 4K, so if I'm shooting in 4K, I can only shoot 30 frames a second. So, and it actually has a auto third crop on there when I shoot in 4K. So what that does is it now puts me in this resolution that has these black bars. So please watch out for any land shots of the 5D that look kind of different. It's probably in 4K and it's going to give you these sidebars. So what I normally do, and if you know a way to make this just like the default, I would love for it to just everything that comes in be fill, but that is going to automatically do it. And then, of course, if you need to go in further from there, I'm going to go back to this guy now because I want to keep him fully in frame. Okay, and then again, so this is where never want to shoot 24 because we can always just give a little to make those hits work. I'm really just trying to get rid of that little wobble there at the end, so I might just give it a little extra. Yeah. Okay. So I think that clip, we're going to need one more. This guy. I like doing this clip. You'll see it a lot. Actually, you'll start noticing. I have like a bag of tricks I use, and I try to mix it up from time to time, but at the end of the day, I only have so much time on the drone. So I try to at least get these shots I know that will always work, and then from the rest of it, try to do something creative or something a little different just to mix it up. So, feel free to try some stuff out. Like, I'm always up for new ideas, but at the same time, just keep it going. Don't get bottlenecked trying to do something. Okay, this might be where I put that. swing. Okay, I will say the song kind of lacks one more level. So if this is level 1, and then what we've been listening to is level 2, I really like it when they go and add one more thing on top, because I'll use that new verse to then show the next scene. So in this case, it kind of just does the same thing. So we're just gonna have to kind of push into the inside of the boat, kind of not out of nowhere, but I would have really loved for this song to have this, very, not soft, but very light intro as far as the minimal instruments. Then you kind of have the whole band come in, and then typically you'll hear a song where they'll put just one or two things on top of it all. It's like the main melody or just kind of soaring on top of everything else, and I really like hearing that. So when you're thinking of clips and when you're thinking of audio and songs to use, that's really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that has a good beat, has a good way for us to make some kind of cool transition happen, whether it's a bunch of jump cuts, this kind of ramp thing, or, in-camera transition of sorts. And then go into it all. So after this, so coming into this is where I would want a new something. So instead of it going back here, I would love for it to be something a little bit different, a little bit of a variation, and then that would just give us the green light to now, let's jump into. Cool. So the next thing too, I've been talking about transitions and different spots and the logic of putting the clips in and kind of how I'm thinking of it all, but also think that we're trying to sell this video. So people outside of people who just want to look at boat videos are thinking, okay, is this the boat I want? So when it comes to more of the inside shots, I'm not saying make them longer, but don't jump around a lot. If you're gonna do a couple cool cuts or something like that, make sure it's kind of from that same location so the brain can kind of keep up, because at the end of the day, they're really just seeing, okay, is this the boat that I want, or is it worth going and seeing? So I'm gonna show a little bit of the door just to kind of have that we're walking through feel, but it is very blown out. So yeah, we'll probably just do these 4 beat hits. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hit. So I think I'm gonna play with that when I'm showing off this room. So what we're gonna do is we're walking in, we're highlighting, and I don't know if we're gonna do a third or not, but that's kind of the idea of it. So I'm trying to see if there's a very special thing that we can show. It's probably going to be this clip to show this backside, but let's see what that looks like. Okay, we're showing the wide. Okay, so and also that little at the end. The other way to get around that, if we're kind of getting edged up on this, one is we're mostly going to be inside at 1080/60 with the 5D, because that's going to give me my full frame back. So that's going to make the inside of here look way bigger. So most of the time I'll do that. The only time I'll do 4K inside a house is when you're seeing these kind of shots where I'm trying to kind of do this, I guess, more of a parallax feel. It didn't come out well here, but in big actual houses in the kitchen where they have an island, you'll see me do this 4K pump push-in shot. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, just to kind of break it up, is I'm gonna show, I'm gonna show the wide, go into some kind of focus shot, and then back out to some, like a wider shot. Okay, so I think we might just do 2 clips because we're kind of running out of time. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm going to just do these 2 clips. Yeah, 2 clips, and then we're gonna go show the rest of the boat. The salon is just this intro. This big living room is the salon, and then it just turns into bedroom, bathrooms like a normal house would. So they're always a pain in the ass. It's probably best to shoot these if you are gonna ever want to shoot them yourself. I recommend a slider. You can just really micro the movement of everything and really maximize how big the room looks by really getting in there on a single line, where I'm on this Ronin the whole time, and I got these little jitters here and there. It just turns into a lot. So if you're ever to do a spot like this, or whether it's a house or a boat or whatever, I love my Ronin, but I do have a slider. I was just by myself today, so it just wasn't gonna happen. Definitely, if you're trying to maximize show reel, slider, very tight shots like this, and it'll come out way bigger, cleaner, and a little bit more intentional of what we're looking at and what's going on. The Ronin's great for mobility, but getting these very in-cabin close shots, slider all day long if you're really trying to bang it out well. See, those jitters just drive me fucking crazy. And see, like, that doesn't really show. Man, I think this one shows it most, and we just don't have much to work with. Like, I just didn't get the shot. So I guess it would just be this. Okay. Other things to do when you are trying to fake it and make it. We're gonna stabilize this guy. Great. We can. So what I could do is, it's not gonna really work here as well as I would want, but if you do some kind of Ken Burns effect, you get this kind of warp feel if you want to go that route. Or if you got a shot where I'm pushing in or you're pushing in and it stops, but it's the best frame shot, I'll fake it sometimes and Ken Burn push the same exact thing that you're doing in camera. And that way, when it stops, it still kind of feels like it's going forward. But just keep in mind that we're now cropping into something that's already a very tight shot. And it does have this kind of that warp feel still, so there's a time and place for it, but I just wanted to bring that up. Oh man, if this was a little bit wider, I'm actually, like, I would rather not see me in this mirror over here, so always keep up with the mirrors when you're filming or editing. But this is the shot that shows the bedroom, so you know what, I'm gonna do some kind of mask and color correction to make this one work. Okay, get it to where it starts. And you can really slow it down with these 60 frames. All right, cool. So, back to the logic of it all. I'm going to try to show as much as this bathroom as possible, because that's where I'm going next. Okay, or we have... When you're filming, I don't know if you film as well or you just edit, but sometimes it's better to find the clip and reverse it. If you like, so for instance, if I really wanted my framing to pushing into the shot, I'm kind of at the mercy of this doorway of where I end up. But if I start inwards, I can make sure like this is all framed up very nicely from the sink to the shower over here. And I pull out. That's probably the best frame clip, but I want to push it in. So easy peasy, there's no one here, there's no cars, there's no people walking. We're just gonna reverse the clip and no one's ever gonna know. Swam bam. And you know, they kind of look the same. They probably got the same effect of it all, but you know, just a thought. And as you go through the door, especially with a wide angle, the room opens up. So try to really see, yeah, get that little extra in there. Go through the door, and then through the door with a second. There's the beat. Yep. There's the extra beat. Well, when I say beat, I mean like the extra second of visual. Yeah. Again, stabilize, a little jerk in there. If you got, I've over the years have been able to save up to get a really awesome computer that can kind of do it all at the same time, and it just runs it real quick. If you're on a, God forbid you're not on a laptop, bless you if you are. But you know, if you're on a computer that, you know, is middle of the ground and you're working up to everything, just do the stabilization at the very end. Like after you color correct, stabilize. Because if you color correct with stabilization, then it just, I feel like it takes longer to render. It's not having to re-render the stabilization, but I just feel like, you know, do that last because you know what it can look like when it's stabilized. Alrighty, okay, so on to the next bedrooms. Normally when you see this little window on the top here, sorry. When you see this window on the top, that means it's the front room, because most of the front rooms will have this. If we go to a shot that has it, boom, there it is there. So you got this guy here. This guy's probably, what, the shower? Was that what we, it's pretty light, no? I wonder where, oh no, it's for this room. It's on top right here. So, looking back here, so you got bedroom, bedroom, bedroom. The bathrooms are in the middle here, and this is the hallway. So this master bath, or the master bedroom, which I always want to show first after the salon, is this guy to the side here. And then we're showing the bathroom. And then from there, I normally will go to the front. It normally goes master will be the biggest. And then your next biggest is going to be your very front of the boat one, which is where we're at here. And then there's typically some kind of bunk bed closet that they've made into a just place for two people to crash. So you'll see that coming up, but I just wanted to kind of show that and what that looks like. So which one we want to do? I don't think I got a good shot of it. There was a hook in the carpet and it freaking got my foot good. Yeah, see, like those, both of those clips are ass. Okay. So that's all we're gonna use. We're just gonna use that little bit here and just call it a day because that's all we got. Okay, and then bathroom, like I said, so bathroom. So typically you'll have the ensuite bathroom that only has the one door and it's for the master, and that's kind of their private one. And then going back to the boat again, typically the bunk beds and the front bedroom will have like a 2-door bathroom. That bathroom will go from the back bedroom entrance and then also a hallway entrance. So this is kind of like the everyone bathroom. If we were just out there fishing or whatnot. So, you know, that's what this guy is. You'll see both doors. So it actually, that general bathroom, typically I get the best shot of because there's 2 doors. And so I'll have the ability to try both doors out and figure out which one works the best. In this case, this door works the best. The other door I wasn't able to show the shower at all. Okay, so honestly, they're like the same fucking thing. So I'm probably just gonna leave it out. In all reality, I might just do that one. I can see the toilet, so I know that one's a different clip. Because these two just look too similar. All right, so what I'm also gonna do, I'm gonna break it up here. Most of the time, these bathrooms look a lot different. In this case, because they look the same, like identically the same. Jesus. I'm gonna show both bedrooms and then show the general bathroom. Okay, and again too, you know, the camera work, you know, if it's going in this way, just don't make it go in twice. If it's rotating the same direction, don't make it rotate the same direction. And so for that, easy peasy, we're just gonna reverse the clip. Okay, and then we're gonna go back to the salon shot, and then when it fades out here, we're gonna So what I might do, I don't know, let's see here. I might grab something like this and put it in here. I think it just needs to have a... Nope, okay. Also, I think the 120 frame here, you see the black line? I know it's like very easy to miss. Oh, no. Okay, now see, I swear it just messes me up a little. Yep, never mind. So actually, a shot like this is where I would use some kind of parallax to really kind of make it feel like, well, what's going on here? Because if you go forward with it, it's going to really just push. So, you know, that's an option, which that one looks really good. The other option would be to reverse it and then have that parallax effect of it kind of warping to it. So let's see. Nope. Number 1 it is. All right, so now we're here. So, you know, now we got that different feel like I was talking about, which I had. Boop, boop, boom. All right, I'm gonna have that one there, so we're gonna do that. What else we got? No, that's that same shot from earlier. Well, let's go back to something like this. try to do that clip. It might have to be this guy. Yeah. I'm probably going to end with this clip and then have it roll out to nothing. Yeah, I'm going to do something like that. And so, and what I could do, because this thing's about to like ramp back up into another verse of the same thing. Is it the same? Yeah, same. I might just take this back hit, and for the sake of having it just actually end versus me trying to make it fake it. All right, so we're gonna kill this guy. So there's the hit there. Okay, so. So I'm going to find just something like that to put the peaks next to. Okay. Okay. Oh, man, I really just like this water though. Like I like the slow motion, but he kind of veers off a little. Yeah, we'll figure that out. But all right, so this guy's gonna go away. Okay, so I'm gonna try some of these kind of just abstract shots. I really didn't show. So something I fucked up with is I didn't really show the cockpit up here at all with like the main camera, which that's a big no-no. I mean, I showed here, but like to be up there and get the wide shot of all the panels and everything, that's almost like a must. So we will go without it, and man, we'll see what they say. Typically, second draft is final for something like this, unless we just really knock it out. If they have a problem, the boat's parked like 7 minutes away from my house, so I might run out there and just get it. Okie dokie, let's figure this out. Let's just wrap this guy up right here at the end. I might just go back to something like that. Cool. Yeah, a little on the shorter side, but I think that's a solid little video. All right, and last thing, audio. Yeah. All right, so because there's no voiceover, this is gonna be super easy, but I do like option click, and you get your little guys here, and typically it's just gonna bring these guys down like a good bit. So I would say, this is my opinion, everyone kind of has their own, and I'm sure there's a right rule. When it's just audio, I like to put my guy right in the middle here. Either one, you're kind of on both sides of it, so. And yeah, I like it maxing out right around this 12. If it peaks a little above, great. But when there's no voice going on, I think the 12 is a good one. I think a lot of people have their phone on all the way loud, so if you're all the way loud and it goes, it's still loud as fuck. And if you're super quiet, it's kind of there still. So, you know, it's a good mid-range, I feel like. And if you were doing voice, I try to get it into like the negative 25-ish while the voice is going over the top. Other than that, just because the music hits hard here, so I'm actually gonna let it slide just past the hit. And then this is where, if we had an interview or something going on, they would start talking right here. This is our Viking, 58-foot Viking here at Galati. It's got a this, and that. And the biggest part about this is that we're right here in the Emerald Coast, and you can be out the pass in 5 minutes, yada yada. So that's kind of, if it was another layer of audio. And then right there, I'm gonna have their titles and stuff come up. So sometimes I'll just even do something like this, where I'll do a transition, and then in the blurs here, I don't know why, but my favorite is always this Gaussian. It's kind of got a nice little smear to it, and then I just drop it back a good bit. Yeah, just enough to kind of get a little break, and then that's going to be enough to put the text on there, so it kind of looks like it's kind of almost rack focusing to the text and whatnot when we get the logo and everything else. I'll do it a little bit before the hit there just so it feels better. And then also when we get into color corrections, I'll make this one go darker so you'll have this kind of effect. Cool. All right, well, that is building a timeline for a boat vessel. I have another one. It's not going to be Friday. It's actually be Monday now because of the wind up here is like 25-mile-an-hour gust. So no good for the boat, not that best for the drone. So we're going to do it Monday. So I just wanted to show you this, and I'm going to make one more video after this doing the color correction, and that should be all three things: picking the clips, laying out the timeline, and then color correction and text and logos I'll do on the next video. Alrighty.